What's up, guys? Nick here. This is going to be another Sunday Market Blitz review for the week that had just passed. So every week on Sunday, we give you guys a full analysis breakdown in the live session. I'll cover 6+ pairs. Angela will cover 6+ pairs. And then at the end of the week, we'll review and see how we did. So we're testing for accuracy. We're looking for how price action, how well it followed our trade paths. And yeah, so let's just get into it and see how DXY did last week. Okay, so here are the two trade ideas. We present these every weekend on the live session. So we had both a bullish idea and a bearish idea. We were favoring the bullish as most of the time frames were lining up with that trend. So we're, ideally trying to ride that and continue higher. So we were looking for a higher low above resistance here, kind of a break of the range, continuation higher, and we were aiming towards 97.25. Okay, now if this failed to push higher, we are within a range, so the likelihood of it pushing down towards support at 95.8 and just continuing the range was very likely. So let's see how it played out. Okay, continued the range, right? Found resistance up here at 96.3 once again, pushed lower down towards support, 95.8, pushed back up again, still ranging. So there'll be there will be two similar scenarios to these trade paths this week. Really just looking for either continuation of the range or break and continuation higher. So that's DXY. Okay, follow trade path 2. Let's move over to AU, see what this one was looking like. So overall, very bearish. We were a bit overextended. We had just hit our monthly support at 0.7. So a bit overextended. We want to see the next lower high, ideally structure forming lower high, at least the 38.2, and then at the highest point for us, 0.712 resistance. We're looking to find a lower high in there, enter short, target lower. Let's see how this played out. So it pulled back quite a bit, didn't find any resistance. It actually gave us a really strong 4-hour bullish trend, and now we're consolidating pretty much near 0.72 resistance. So this is actually going to be pretty interesting going into this week. Really just trying to see if this 4-hour trend is going to continue. That would mean that there's a lot of strength on this time frame, and we'd be spotting for some sort of transition of this level here. Okay, if it does push lower, we're looking for a lower high below 0.712. And then potentially we could have a short opportunity, but we'll have more to say about that on the Blitz itself. So keep an eye out for those analyses later today. But that's AU. Let's move over to AJ. Okay, very similar to AU. They are, pretty correlated. A lot of the time, though, you'll see more volume here on AJ. So if we just take a quick glance, we can see that we're very bearish. Very similar to AU, as we said. We were at support, a bit overextended, wanted to see the next lower high before entering into a potential short opportunity. Okay, and then if we wanted to go long, really need to see a higher low above 81.5 resistance. Okay, so let's just see how this played out. Okay, pulled back quite a bit. We pulled all the way back to 81.5 resistance, where we saw there was a bit of ranging happening in the past, more or less just consolidation. We are seeing that right now, a little more, tight consolidation compared to this, just less volume here. So, like we said on AU, this is either going to continue as a 4-hour bullish trend, pretty strong, or we'll start to see some strong reversals from this area, and then ideally enter on the next lower high. Okay, so that's AJ. Let's see what UJ did this week. Okay, very bearish. We saw that there was this type of descending triangle right at our monthly support and also a minor level 112.7. Okay, so very easily, very simply, we saw that we wanted to see a break of this pattern, break lower, find the next lower high, and then we'll enter short. So that was pretty much lining up with the bearish trend here, following what price action telling us, and then playing to the pattern here. So that would have been absolutely perfect. However, if it did push back up, we found support at this level. We wanted to see a higher low above 113.45 at least, and then that would be enough. That would give us enough confidence to start considering some long opportunities. So let's see how this played out. Okay, pushed up a little bit. We did get higher lows here. It did follow through. So this more or less would have been a fake out entry, or just an entry that wouldn't have played out because it did have conviction. So there were some setups there, but obviously it didn't continue. More or less just flatlined at that point, and now we're really only seeing support at 113.45 here. That's really the last level of support before we start looking lower again. All right, so really it started to play out towards trade path 2, but then kind of failed. So not much really on this one from last week, but this looks a lot better going into the week ahead. So We'll cover those analyses in a bit. Let's move over to EJ. Okay, EJ was very bearish. Good descending trend here, good descending trend line, lots of lower lows, lower highs, looking pretty good. There was a little bit of consolidation here, but we were pretty much right at support, so that was not too much concern. It actually gave us a good amount of confidence that we were going to push lower, get that next lower high, and then enter short. Okay, now if it does push back up to resistance here, there's no real trade between these two levels. I'm really just declaring it more of a range. That's why trade path 2 is up here. If we were to consider going long on EJ, I want to see a higher low above 128.85. Okay, so I was being super patient on this one. Really, I don't try and force any EJ trades. It can kind of mess around for a little while before really choosing a direction. So I definitely recommend being extra patient here on EJ. Okay, but let's see how it played out. Okay, so we didn't push lower. We actually, held here as support, started pushing higher. Nice bullish volume into resistance, 128.85, and now it's pulling back down, looking like a bit of a higher low. But either way, this is why I was saying I wasn't interested in any trades between these two levels, because it's looking still like a range, right? Lots of resistance, lots of support, no real direction. So, but this looks good enough to get some analysis for this week ahead. We could definitely spot some good scenarios as the volume's here now too. So we're going to cover that later tonight. But yeah, not really much from last week here on EJ. Neither of these trade paths executed, unfortunately. So let's jump over to gold. And that's where we're going to finish here on this review. But overall, we were very bearish. I've been saying for a while, if any of you guys have been following this, that as long as we're between 1800 and 1825, this has been a large daily range, right? Normally, price action just spend a lot of time every time it's entered this range. It's taken a while to play out and then finally choose a direction. So that's really just kind of been the rule of thumb for gold lately for me. So when we saw this consolidation, I wasn't getting too, anxious on a trade or anything. I really was expecting it to range for a little while longer. So we just kind of waited. It did push lower. Nice bearish volume there. Break, retest. This was the first lower high, confirming the break. Then we pushed lower again, and then saw we were retesting, at the beginning of last week. So from here, we're pretty confident it was going to continue short if we saw the right, continue bearish if we saw the right setups, and then we could enter short, target down towards 1740. But if it did break back into the range, I was looking for a higher low to kind of confirm that. And then, for those that choose to trade a range, good for you. But this is just what I needed to see to confirm that it was back in the range where I would not be taking trades, just to clarify. So let's just see how this played out. Failed to push lower, just continued to flatline. So this is just consolidation below resistance. Simply, that's really all there is there. Going into this week, we will be looking for strong bearish setups. I want to see good volume. None of these are really that great. Small, low volume there, a little bit of indecision, some wicks here. Nothing great. Even all the way back here, low volume. Nothing really, really great. So still have an opportunity to go short here. Just have to see the right setups and catch at the right time. Okay, but our eyes are definitely at 1740 support for this next week. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, that's gold. That's gold. All right, guys. So we are in, about mid-December now. The beginning of December, the volume's pretty normal for the most part. But as we get closer to the end of the year, guys, the volume and the opportunities are going to become more scarce. So keep that in mind. Your trading should be a little more patient. You shouldn't be taking as many trades as you normally would around the year. Okay, seasonality in trading is definitely a thing. So good to be aware of that. Don't find yourself forcing anything, again, as we get, towards the new year. Volume's going to be low. Just be careful, guys, and, just keep doing what we do. Keep doing our analysis and just be patient and picky with your trades. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. That is the Sunday Market Blitz review for last week, December 5th. Yeah, so I'll see you guys on the Sunday Market Blitz tonight. Take care, guys.